Hello guys, what's up? This is ScherBR, welcome back to my channel. So today video is about Romancing SaGa Universe. We'll be talking about the upcoming banner, the Romancing Festival exclusive Valentine styles. Well, they always call Romancing Festival when they are doing some banners that celebrate some themed seasonal things like Valentine's, White Day. White Day is important on Japan, but not on the rest of the world. Summer, and things like that. And you see, this is the first style units that we'll be receiving that it's really overpowered, but not for damage. White Rose Princess, it's the full name of the character. It's the best healer that the game will have for quite a lot of time, and she will help with boss fights, especially boss fights, but sometimes even with some autos, because well, there's lots of content coming and lots of enemies will inflict status on you, and she heals for large numbers and also cleans status effects. So a very good package that it's not easily found on this game. For those that do not summon for her, they will have to rely on maybe using loot. Loot is a farmable character, alongside maybe Sophia. Sophia will heal and he will cleanse. But you have the two things on the same character here, saving humans a lot. You can see that she's not bringing herself alone on this banner. You also have a Valentine's Rock Bouquet. Valentine's Rock Bouquet is a very good character as well. I don't think she's better than the Platinum one that we received, because the Platinum Rock Bouquet is actually one of the best characters we have available. I think she's like probably only second to Sophia, because Sophia is amazing. And then we have the original Platinum version of Rock Bouquet being amazing and will keep being useful even in the future. Even now in Japan, people can still use her with no problem for some content. And now you have Valentine version of Rock Bouquet that's not superior to the Platinum one, but can still be used for some stuff. You can also inherit one skill from Valentine's to teach your Platinum version, or the other way. They both can be used for some specific content. She still carries the Charm theme, so she will try to charm enemies, and charm is very interesting to have in some situations, because some enemies are immune to paralyze, to stun, to everything, even to confuse. But sometimes they are not immune to charm, and you can use that into your advantage. Now on chapter 8 there are stages where you can already use this on your advantage. So maybe trying to get for White Rose, but getting Valentine's Rock Bouquet, you'll still be set. I think you'll be very happy with having both. Let me get White Rose Princess here, and you see we have 5 different styles for White Rose Princess on Japan right now. You see 3 RS styles, 2 RSS styles, and the one is this one. This one is the one that we'll be getting on the Valentine's banner. And guys, this one is very impressive, like I just said. But all White Rose Princess styles are amazing. Some of them will be better for some things. This one is based on healing, and she has a very impressive healing option. Reproduction Light is a spell that everyone will be using. It has a 7 BP cost and 1 LP cost. Like all healings, you are losing your life points when you heal. And it has a power of an A for a healing. This is amazing. You can see that this website also calculates the average healing that you'll be performing with the character. And having this character maxed with the max cap right now on Japan, we'll be able to perform healings of up to 1.3k of HP. They don't even have that much HP. So having a maxed White Rose Princess will be enough to heal your character from 0 HP to max. Yeah, that character will be able to revive on max potential. This is pretty amazing. Not only that, you see that she also cleans status ailments. You see here, recovers the target HP and clears all the target status abnormal status. This is amazing because it saves you a lot. We don't have many characters that can cleanse. People without White Rose, you probably have to rely on using loot, the one that we can farm from chapter 8 alongside Sophia. But guys, White Rose Princess do not replace Sophia entirely. You'll still be using Sophia if you need the buff, and some strategies will even be useful if you have 2 healers. You can use like Speculation, have 3 physical damage dealers and 2 healers on the back, and they will be amazing. Well, White Rose Princess will replace Sophia in most situations where you do not need 2 healers, but both can still be useful together. You see that she has a very high values for love. Love is the status that affects healing that you give, and charm affects the healing that you receive. And her multipliers are pretty high when you get this character maxed. And this is one of the first characters that you will want maxed as soon as possible. She is limited, so that means that you won't be summoning her lots of times, and then you can use your blank gold pieces to get this character maxed as soon as possible. Well, not only that, she also has some attacks, but the attacks are not so interesting. I highly suggest you reduce the BP cost from Reproduction Light. I don't know what's the translated name, right? I'm only talking about the one that Google is translating here. And only that is what you'll be needing. You can also reduce Chocolate Balls, because this is a damage spell that reduces the agility from the enemy. Can be useful. But actually, White Rose Princess do not have a high agility. You can see here that her agility has a final status of 141 right now in Japan. She has only a correction or multiplier of 36 increase with her style. But that's not exactly bad, because if you know exactly which characters are being targeted, even if they die, they will be revived. When you use the healing, you still not see if the character will die or not, and then he gets attacked and dies, and then White Rose Princess will act after the boss already killed your character, and she will revive this character to full HP. So healers do not exactly need high agility, and we always use them on formations that reduce their agility even further. So you can see that she also has not so bad multipliers for, say, Spirit, so she is good to reduce the damage from magics. Yeah, she has a good intelligence, but it doesn't really affect all that much because she will be healing most of the time, and her spells are not so interesting. Chocolate Balls can reduce agility, but we don't always need the buff agility. Super Wind is actually very bad in my opinion. It has only a B power with 15 BP cost and no added effect, so you won't ever use this spell with this character in my opinion. She can learn some other skills by inheritance, and we will get at least one of her S styles from free. I'm not so sure which other styles are free or not. And like this one here, you can get Flash Fire. Flash Fire is, you see, D power, but it's at least 10 BP. You also have Sunlight. Sunlight is single targets. And this other version of her has a even cheaper skill. No, Flash Fire, Saint Fire. Let's see, this one, I think there's a 9 BP cost. Yeah, you can see Solar Wind is only 9 BP cost, and it's better because you can also use this way more often than the other skill. Also, this S White Rose Princess, I think, is one that was given. I'm not so sure on that. Please don't quote me. That has a very similar skill. You can see that's different, name it. But it also recovers HP and cleans allies. They also have the calculation for the healing. It's not so high because this one is an S style instead of an SS style. So lower status means lower healings, but it's still enough and okay to heal your character to max HP. So you can see that even through this SS version of White Rose is more for healing, we will receive another banner in the future that will have this other version, and this one is more geared towards dealing damage. So they will not replace her entirely. She's very safe in what she has, and when you get more style of her, it will only add more to her. It's not exactly power creeping her. This version, you can see, has very low love, so even if you inherit the healing for this version, you won't be healing as much as the Valentine's version. You see that she gets very high intelligence, and she will be better to inflict some damage against enemies. You see that 2 of the spells are single targets, with one being AoE. You can inherit the healing from this other version. Let's see, the other version being this one, that I'm not so sure if it's free. Someone told me that it is free. And you can inherit the healing from this version if you fail it to get the Valentine one. It works, it won't be as good, but it will at least be something that you'll be able to use. Let's just talk about her ability. You can see that she has Recovery Breath, so she will recover HP with a chance of 25%. the healing is not so bad. You can see here they also made a calculation for the current power level on Japan, at least very close to 500. Very nice for a maxed character, right? And the second one is strength recovery. It's already taken into consideration for the healing that it's calculated below the image. And the last one is she recovers a BP when she's hit by an attack. So that helps her get more healing because her healing is not so cheap. But you have to remember, we only use healing like at max 5 times with a healer because fights, even against bosses, cannot last for long in this game. And if you need more healings, you probably bring another healer together like I said, Sophia alongside Valentine White Robe Princess, because they can help each other keep you with a full HP. So, well, you see that she doesn't have that passive that heals everyone when she dies, like Sophia has. So you see, even when considering the two characters, sometimes you may still use Sophia, even though White Rose Princess is mostly superior, like 90% of the time. So, okay, this was White Rose Princess. Let's just talk about the other featured character from this banner, that is Rock Bucket. The Valentine version of Rock Bucket. We have to understand that Rock Bucket, just like White Rose Princess, is one of the most loved characters from this game. And because of that, we have lots of versions. We have 5 different versions of Rock Bucket. And this one is the one that we get from free. And then we will have to summon for the other ones. This is the Platinum one that we already received the banner for. Well, some people were already trying to summon for her. In my opinion, she's like the best character that we received so far for summoning. She's even better than Final Emperor, than Noel, than every other character we had to summon for up to this point. But she is a Platinum character that we can kind of wait for a moment that we will be able to perform lots of Platinum summons, and she can appear in every different banner because she's Platinum. But that doesn't remove her utility. She's amazing in my opinion, one of the best characters in the game, at least right now on Global. And she had a healing spell and also Paralyze, and she can also inherit Paralyze from her free version, being this Thunder that has Medium Chance. But even with Medium Chance, because Rock Bucket has such a high intelligence, she will still be paralyzing lots of enemies that do not have resistance. But when they have resistance, having Medium Chance against, say, Shadow Chains from Rouge, that has a very high chance of being able to inflict the status, well, she would not be as strong as him in this regard. But, well, in the future she can also learn Shadow Chains from this A style that we can summon in the future. And you see, it's only Shadow here because it's translated like this. And when she gets Shadow Chains, she will be way better than Rouge because she has higher status and more diversity. Amazing character. We also have to remember that in the future we will be able to get staves with 2 elements, but we are very far from it for now. Okay, so now let's just talk about the Valentine version. And the Valentine's version only complements the normal SS Platinum versions and also increases utility to extreme. I can say that for the future they are very equal. Some people may say that this version is better than the other one. I'm not so sure which one is better. I only know that both are awesome. You have to see that the first skill is Pain, but it's actually Wrecking, the same one that Rouge has access to. The second one is Thunder, but I think it was just a mistranslation on this regard, because the other version already has a skill called Thunder, but it's only 3 BP coast with the Medium Chance to Paralyze, and this other one has a skill that also has 9 BP coast and Paralyze, Medium Chances as well, but better power. So probably just for that moment where you need to inflict more damage and you are using Overdrive, you see. But sometimes you will probably just want to inherit the 3 BP coast Thunder to just keep using it more times, more often. Like you are on Zui Coliseum, we will prefer to use a cheap skill instead of one that costs 9 BP. We can reduce this to 7, but we can reduce the other one to 2. So way more chances of paralyzing the enemies, can cycle between self and save BP. But you see, the first one inflicts stun, and this version of Rock Bucket has a very high agility, Like, you need to have high agility to inflict stun, because if you inflict stun after the enemy attack, it won't help you. But she can inflict stun before the enemy attacks, and that really helps. Most of the early game, the enemy will be either weak to stun or paralyzed, sometimes weak to both. But coming to more end game content, these status elements will not be so useful because most enemies will be resisting it. But there will be some enemies that, while they will be resistant against stun and paralyzed, they won't be resistant against charm. Guys, we have an awesome spell called Valentine's Temptation that is exclusive to this version of Rock Bucket, and it's amazing. It's the only AoE charm on the game. I researched it from all the information through the Japanese website, and we don't have any other AoE charm spell. So imagine some future content where you can farm and the enemies are weak to charm, and you can start the wave by using this because we can reduce it to 10 BP. Very cheap cost when considering some other characters have spells that uses 15 BP, just like even White Rose Princess has a spell that costs 15 BP. This time we have one that has 13 BP cost, can be reduced to 10, and inflicts charm to everyone. I know, it's a small chance to inflict charm, but if the enemy has 0 resistance and she has a very high intelligence, she will probably inflict charm to, say, we have 6 enemies. She can very easily charm half of them. And this can help you a lot. They will attack each other, and the effect will last for 4 turns. Pretty amazing, something that's very unique, and summoning this character now makes you have a higher value for the future. And like I said, you can sometimes prefer to use the Platinum version of Rock Bucket, sometimes you want to use this one, and even if you don't want to use this one, you can transfer Valentine's Temptation to the Platinum version as well. But now let me to talk about the abilities, and you see that she has Fighting Spirits too. She will increase her agility when she attacks, so even better for usage of stun strategies. And she has very high intelligence, meaning that she will stun lots of times. And weakness 3, she lowers the intelligence from the enemy when she attacks with a 25% chance. So she's a debuffer as well. You see, even inflicting lots of status elements, she can also debuff the enemy, debuff the intelligence from the enemy. She has a very high will because she's a mage, so she will receive even less damage when compared to some other characters. And the last one is uplifting and recovers BP when she's hit by an attack. I don't know if she's hit or when she attacks, because sometimes the translation is just massive. But you can see that they are pretty amazing characters that both are, I would say a White Rose is like a 9.5 out of 10 at least. Sometimes people will just say that she's a 10 out of 10. And this one is like same, 9.5 out of 10. And sometimes they will even give their character a 10. So that's why everyone was just saying to save to this banner, because this banner is all awesome. You have 2 characters that will stick with the game for lots of time. One has a very unique spell that inflicts charm to everyone. We won't have this at least until the developers create another character that has this, and the other one has a very impressive healing that will stick with you for lots of time. Even a whole year you'll be using White Rose, in my opinion. So the other characters are A versions of Ellen. Sorry, let's just get Ellen. In Aisha, 2 axe wielder characters. Let's see Aisha first. It doesn't really help you that much, because let's see what skills she can bring to the table. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, she has split helmet. That's interesting because it is a debuff of intelligence. Can be useful from some situations. And stone bullet is a very cheap skill with earth element. But besides that, I don't think she has anything that interesting. Let's see if she can also learn this split helmet from other styles. No, she gets the buff option by getting this A version. So okay, people will probably get this style if they are planning to get Rock Bucket or White Rose. And the last one is, let's see here, Ellen. Let's just check her style. This style here is a Nest style that has, let's see, she has a Nest power with 12 BP, not so good. None of them has effects. You mostly use a Nest style either for effects or for healing, but not for damage, so I don't think that's a very good option here. Yeah, she doesn't have very good options. She increases attack, damage, fighting spiriting, and absorbing attack. Yeah, this one is skippable. So well guys, this is it. I just hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to support this channel, you can do so by either helping me by Patreon, PayPal, or the coffee button here on the description of this video. And we see each other on the next video. Bye!